On average, an automobile lasts for more than 10 years. Before a new design of an automobile is introduced in the market, all parts and accessories go through severe testing. One of the testing includes an accelerated weather test where the car is introduced to high UV, warm, wet, windy, and snowy weather, so that the paint, windshield, spare parts, and accessories can withstand extreme conditions for a long time. The weather strip of a car window has to pass these stringent tests too. After a lot of research and development, a synthetic rubber with a chemical name ethylene propylene diene monomer, or EPDM, was selected to make this window weather strip. The main reason for selecting this material was its excellent resisting quality to high UV, moisture, water vapor, low and high temperatures. Based on this concept, Aeroflex International Company Limited adopted this theory to produce world-class insulation for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning and refrigeration, HVAC&R applications under the brand name of Aeroflex. The production of Aeroflex is simple yet technologically advanced. The main raw material used is EPDM mixed with fillers, flame retardant, and other chemicals. The mixed compound is then extruded in tubes or sheets formed and cured by high-temperature curing ovens, resulting in a product which can be regarded as the best technologically advanced insulation for the HVAC&R industry. Literally, insulation is prevention or minimizing of heat transfer. Heat is transferred by means of conduction, convection, and radiation. Conduction is transfer of heat by contact. That is to say, if you hold one side of an iron bar in your hand and introduce the other side to an open flame, after a while, your hand will feel the warmth. This is called conduction effect. The high-density solid molecules in the bar are interconnected, and hence the heat transfers from one end to another. In an insulation, the conduction effect can be minimized by having a low-density product with air in the cells. Convection is transfer of heat by movement of molecules in a gas or liquid. That is, when water is heated, the molecules near the base of the container get heated and rise. The same is the case in a cold room, where warm air at the bottom rises to the evaporator and the cooler, heavier, and dense air drops to the floor, picking up the heat from the objects in the room. This effect is called convection effect. In an insulation, this effect can be minimized by having very small cells filled with air to minimize the convection. Radiation is transfer of heat by way of electromagnetic waves. Sun's rays are the best example of electromagnetic radiation. In insulation, this effect is minimal when the insulation is installed indoors. On the other hand, when installed outdoors, direct radiation from the sun increases the heat transfer effect in a very negligible amount. In short, if there is a way to contain or minimize the effect of conduction, convection, and radiation, we have a perfect insulation on our hands. Apart from this, a good insulation should have low water absorption, high resistance to moisture penetration, and high resistance to UV and weather. And during an accidental fire, a good insulation should also have low flame spread, low smoke density, and low toxicity so that there is enough time for the victims to evacuate. Aeroflex is made of EPDM modified with high molecular weight polymer. The cell structure of the Aeroflex insulation has great number of tiny singular closed cells. Every single cell is enclosed by a wall and each cell contains a dry gas. As the heat moves from the warmer area to the colder area, the sheer number of these tiny closed cells act as a barrier for this heat motion, conduction, and the dry gas in each cell slows down the heat motion, convection, resulting in a low and stable thermal conductivity throughout. Not only do the closed cell structures and dense skin of Aeroflex acts as a vapor barrier, but also the non-polarity of the EPDM itself keeps the moisture away. Moreover, the non-polarity of EPDM also acts as a very good UV and weather resistance. Aeroflex has been installed for more than 10 years in several countries where high UV and extreme weather patterns are of primary concern for the insulation. Besides these main outstanding features, Aeroflex has a low flame spread, low smoke density, low toxicity. In an accidental fire, dense smoke and toxic gases are the main culprits of the human casualties. Aeroflex deters use of halogens as fire retardants. When a halogen-based fire retardant is burned, it emits huge amounts of smoke and toxic gases. Aeroflex uses aluminum trihydrate, ATH, as the main flame retardant, which when decomposed will give out water serving the function as a flame retardant and a self-extinguisher. Aeroflex has been tested in various countries on fire, smoke, and toxicity, and have successfully passed the said criteria. In some cases, Aeroflex's performance on smoke and toxicity has been better than the acceptable criteria. The strength of Aeroflex lies in its quality and service, and therefore is regarded as the ideal closed-cell thermal insulation for HVAC and our industry in more than 80 countries around the globe. Aeroflex is accredited with the ISO 9001, ISO 14001, and OHSAS 18001. As the company's policy states, technology and environment in harmony. Aeroflex International Company Limited does its best to keep the policy a reality.